Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Muhammed Shafiq, and this is my first online lecture with you. Although it's lecture number 9, and before this lecture, we've had some classroom lectures. So, in this first online lecture with you, I'm going to introduce you to this online class system, course, and the recap what we have already done in our classrooms. To begin with, as you know, due to this situation, we are forced to adopt this online or recorded lectures, uh, just in order to save the time of students as well as the teachers. We do not want to waste your time. So we are going to record lectures and just post it on the KCMS, where you can access these lectures and you can take advantage of it. The time span, as we don't know how long it's going to go, so we have to concentrate upon these lectures, and we have to try to learn as much as possible. And we need to avoid this waste of time and utilize it properly. And we have to acknowledge the efforts of our ICT team and custody administration to provide students these recorded lectures. Although I understand this is not a perfect alternate for the real-time classroom lecture, but still it might provide you some sort of platform to move forward and indulge in activities leading to increase thirst and eventually the knowledge, which is the main purpose of this whole system. I would like to raise this point that we need to understand our responsibilities and roles as teachers and students. Teachers used to make sure that they are available to their students and support and offer their support to the students. While on your part, you need to realize your responsibility as to take it serious and realize your responsibility as a student and make your efforts to learn and utilize this platform and opportunity effectively, as they are the few, as this is all this system, everything it has been arranged for you, because you are the system, you are the future of our country, and we look forward to you as builders of our future. This system of recorded lectures, how it's going to work is that we are going to record lectures, we are going to upload it on KCMS server, and we are going to paste the link on the KCMS. So when you access your online KCMS system, you would see the link of those lectures. So if you click on those lectures, you directly go towards this video, and you can access this video. You can try to learn whatever is delivered to you. Your responsibility is that whatever you learn from the lectures, whatever question may arise in your minds, you should note these down, any question or comments or any points of discussion, and convey it through KCMS or WhatsApp group or email to the teacher. So next time, before starting next lecture or next topic in the lecture, I would try to answer your questions and clarify your comments before moving forward. Although the setup of the exam has not been devised yet, probably it's going to be online somehow. But for the time being, you need to concentrate on these lectures, and you might uh, get some assignments via KCMS as well as quizzes and presentations. But we will keep you updated during these lectures. So for the time being, you just need to concentrate on these lectures and try to learn as much as possible. We are working with ICT team, obviously, and administration of trustees, working hard to come up with a mechanism for uh, these presentations and quizzes. But you should not worry about these things, as there are people to take care of them. So we hope and pray that all these efforts are utilized properly and benefit all of us, both teachers and students. Now, the next thing um, I'm going to discuss is the course structure. As I've already discussed in the classroom, but just to remind you that what is the course structure, how do we evaluate. In normal circumstances, as you know, that during semester, there are the evaluation consists on assignments, presentations, midterm exam, and final exam. So it remains the same, but the mechanism might change a bit. So you should be mentally prepared for it. And the next thing I would like to talk about is the importance and objectives of the course. As you know, the title of course is Introduction to Logic, and it's very much important as a student and as a scientist for us to know and learn logic in order to be able to make some logical argumentation, the basic concept of logic, which is obviously backbone of the system of science. So without logic, you cannot survive being a scientist or a student of science. So as simple as that, it is quite important for you to learn what is logic, what is it all about, and how you can take advantage of it in order to become a successful scientist or student of science. Now, I would like to begin with the basic concepts, as we have already discussed it in our classroom, but um, it's been a while now, so I would like to just highlight these things so that you can brainstorm about it. So first of all, what is philosophy and what is logic? Basically, in order to understand what is logic, first we need to know what is philosophy. Because logic basically is a branch of philosophy. Philosophy is a combination of two Greek words, philo and sophy. Philo means love and sophy means wisdom or knowledge. Because in Greek language, knowledge and wisdom are interchangeable concepts. So literally, philosophy would mean love for wisdom or love for knowledge. Now, this is human nature that if you fall in love with something ask someone, you always try, you always attempt to achieve it. For example, if you're passing by a shop in market and showcase, you look into that and then you find a beautiful shirt. The first thing which comes into your mind is want to buy it if your pocket obviously allows you. So you go into the shop and pay the money and get the sweatshirt and just wear it because you fell in love. Similarly, all sorts of things. So in this context, if we look into the definition of philosophy, that would basically mean that we are trying to achieve knowledge, trying to achieve wisdom. So all those attempts, all those struggle we make to achieve knowledge or wisdom, they fall in the realm of philosophy. So I would say that you're traveling to Kust from your hometown, from your village, and going through all the efforts you make, I mean, like to transport, to like spending your money, buying books, coming to the Kust, um, your all sorts of problems you face during this travel or during your admission. All these things basically because I believe you want to achieve knowledge. That is all these efforts I would call attempt to learn philosophy. So philosophy is all in a nutshell, all those attempts to achieve the knowledge or wisdom. And doesn't necessarily mean it has to be in a formal setup like a classroom setup. In any way, in any kind of learning, in any setup, whether you learn it from the elders, you sit with some experienced people, or you learn a trade, all sorts of things, I would call it philosophy. Now, how did philosophy start? Basically, one of our teachers, long time ago, when I was a student of philosophy at PHI University, told us that, and I really loved this quote, and I still remember it. And normally I repeat in all my introductory classes that the birth of intellect was the birth of philosophy. So the birth of human being was the birth of intellect. That basically means the day God created human being, philosophy started. Why? Because man started questioning, man started wondering, what is this world about? What is this universe about? Who am I? Where am I? What I'm doing? What I'm supposed to do? All these kind of questions, basically, they are because we are blessed with the intellect. So human being, the day human being was born, the day he got the intellect, and the day he got the intellect, the day when philosophy started. So the beginning of human being is the beginning of philosophy. And throughout the history of human being, man has been trying to achieve knowledge and has been increasing in labor. And man has achieved so much in terms of knowledge, but still there is a lot to learn about. So philosophy started with the beginning of man, and it's still going on, and God knows where it's going to end. Now that's the general concept of philosophy. But academically speaking, now philosophy has been uh, going through different times, and it has given birth to so many different branches of knowledge, such as natural sciences, social sciences. So philosophy is called mother of all sciences, whether it's natural science or social science. Some people might differ with this opinion, uh, as someone would say that oh, no, mathematics is the mother of natural sciences, because obviously without mathematics there is no concept of natural science. Similarly, the social scientists would say that sociology is the mother of all social sciences because it's all about social relationships, society. This is somehow true, but if you look deeply into it, both mathematics and sociology, they are trying to learn, they are trying to add to the knowledge of human beings. While philosophy starts with that question. So basically, it's philosophy which has given birth to both mathematics and sociology. And for the for the basically for the convenience of humans, man has further bifurcated these branches of knowledge into different branches. So with the passage of time, different sciences branched out from the philosophy, and they were given different names like knowledge about physical bodies became physics, about chemicals became chemistry, about life became biology, all sorts of things. So that means that raises another question that, okay, hang on a minute, all these branches of knowledge have branched out from philosophy. So what do we study in philosophy now? Well, there are certain things, there are certain problems which are not solved yet. So they fall into the realm of philosophy. Philosophy as a subject, as an academic subject, still deals with four major branches. There are four main branches of philosophy, such as metaphysics, epistemology, axiology, and logic. I will briefly reflect upon these branches before moving to the logic. So, metaphysics is a branch of philosophy which deals with all those entities which are beyond physical world, because meta means beyond, physics means obviously physical world. So, what is the reality beyond this physical world? What is the reality behind this universe? What is the reality of man? Whatever physical we see in this world, what is behind that? What is beyond that? How this universe was created, if it was created. Some people think it was evolved. So, if it was evolved, how did it evolve? How did it came into being? Man being a part of this universe, what is the reality of man? So these kind of questions are dealt with in the branch of philosophy which is called metaphysics. The other second branch is called epistemology. And epistemology is concerned with the knowledge. Generally speaking, everyone talks about knowledge, as we did to begin with. We said philosophy means love for knowledge. So epistemology is a branch of philosophy which tries to reflect upon what does knowledge mean, what knowledge itself is. What do we mean by knowledge? Knowledge, how do we gain knowledge? What is a genuine knowledge? What is pseudo knowledge? What is a valid knowledge? What is invalid knowledge? All these questions are dealt with in epistemology. Third branch, which is called axiology. Axiology has two major parts. One is called aesthetics, the other one is called ethics. Aesthetics deals with the theory of art, concepts of beauty, etc., etc. On the other hand, ethics, moral philosophy deals with the concepts of good and bad, right and wrong. What is good? What is meant by good? What is meant by bad? What do we call right? What do we call wrong? What is that particular element which makes an action right or wrong? What is that particular thing which makes something good or bad? These questions are quite intriguing, though, are dealt with branch of philosophy which is called axiology. Now, the fourth, last one, but not least, that's called logic, which is the main concern, which is basically the course we are going to talk about throughout semester. So, what is logic? It's the fourth branch of philosophy, which is basically logic, is the study of those methods and principles which are which distinguish between correct reasoning and incorrect reasoning. Now, one would ask, what do we mean by reasoning? By reasoning, we mean logic. By reasoning, we mean argument. The speciality of human being is basically to convince people with the argument rather than force. Man is superior, or man is called Ashraf al Makhlukat. Why? Because he's got this ability to think and then come up with such kind of argument through which he or she can convince the listener. So logic deals with all these concepts, how to make an argument, what are the laws, what are the principles through which we can make an argument, and then we can deliver this argument in order to convince people, in order to achieve our goals. Why do we need logic? Simple. Without convincing people, we cannot achieve our goals. Whether we are scientists, whether we are a vendor, whether we are a doctor, whether we are a lawyer, each and every step of our lives, we need to convince people. And in order to convince them, we need to know the art of argument, the art of reasoning. And logic is all about these laws and principles. So if someone knows logic, he or she would obviously be good in reasoning. And through reasoning, we can convince people. And by convincing them, we can achieve our goals. So basically, this is what we are going to talk about for our semester. I hope you guys like this lecture, and I hope you take advantage of it. And if there are any questions, please do ask before the next lecture so that I can explain it before starting next time. Thank you very much.